Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video we've got a lot of interesting things happening. We've got this new Too Faced collection, Life's a Festival. There's an eye palette, there are some different face products, we've got highlighters, a very unusual setting spray, some interesting sort of iridescent lip products here. Everything is extremely whimsical. It's very like Too Faced, the sort of vibe you expect from them, but at the same time I was a little surprised that they did this because I felt like things like rainbow highlighters and some of these different ideas, I thought they'd practically been a little bit played out in the makeup world so far. But with this collection, they are hitting it hard. When this PR package came, the products were like, most of them were enclosed in a piñata, you know, like a unicorn piñata. These are the kinds of PR moves that will make your 3-year-old and 1-year-old go nuts when you open them up. But what I thought I would do here, I'm starting with just foundation, concealer, powder, and brows on, and I thought we could just play and kind of chit-chat as we go about these different new Too Faced things. So let's just jump in. We've got this Unicorn Tears. This is called the Iridescent Mystical Bronzer. So pop this compact open and you have an actual unicorn and then sort of a shimmery looking bronzer around the outside. Both elements, if you kind of want to treat them separately, are very, very shimmery. If you were to kind of blend over all of it, you get sort of this muddy, kind of beigey, almost taupe looking shade. It does smell good. I instantly think of the Chocolate Soleil bronzers when I smell this, but it might just be a general sweet scent that I'm getting off of this. But I'm gonna dab my brush into what mainly looks like bronzer here, and I'm just gonna add some of this to the perimeter of my face here. I was playing with this yesterday and I was thinking the bronzer almost gives me a little bit of a vibe of Too Faced Sun Bunny, you know, a bronzer with some sheen. There's just gonna be so much shimmer and glow happening just using all these things today, so if you aren't particularly a fan of shimmer, watch out. You may just be watching this for your own entertainment. Okay, I'm taking some of that down the neck as well. Gonna continue picking up some bronzer, hitting the cheekbone area just lightly here. It's not like a drastic, super dark bronzer. And then maybe we hit the unicorn just right here at the end, and we dust some of that part on the top of the cheeks. I don't know. To me, it of course looks really cute. You're gonna hear me say that about a lot of the products in this line, but I don't think it's super practical. I feel like when I'm reaching for a bronzer, I generally just want the bronzer, and I would be constantly like avoiding the unicorn in this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply real quick a little bit of my own blush, because there's not really a blush in this line, so I'm gonna grab my CoverGirl Soft Sable. Just get a little bit of that going on here. Next up, we've got a major highlighting situation here. We've got our little highlighter compact here. This is called Rainbow Strobe, Rainbow Effect Highlighter. And it's one of those things that I thought was really like poppin' and a super trendy hot item, I don't know, months ago, but Too Faced is putting their spin on it. So what we have here, it looks very metallic and shimmery, kind of rainbow striped highlighters. You've got tones of purple, blue, golden colors that kind of take up the bulk of the compact, and also kind of a rose gold up top. To feel it, it feels pretty powdery. This explains my experience applying it yesterday. I thought it was kind of flaky, sort of hard to manage. They also have this brush, which is a gorgeous brush just to look at. I like the rainbow in the hairs. I like this sort of pearly periwinkle thing going on the handle, but there's a special instruction here on the back. First off, they're gonna tell you to pull out their setting spray. This is called Festival Refresh Mystical Effects Setting and Refreshing Spray. So you look at it here and it's looking almost like clear liquid, maybe. If you look down toward the bottom, we've got all kinds of stuff settled down there, sort of an iridescent purpley looking, I guess some sort of a powder maybe within it. So you're gonna need to shake it up. And then can you see what's happening in there? The liquids are swirling. You're getting this sort of colored spray or tinted spray. The instruction on the brush is that you're gonna spray this on first, allow to dry, and then load your rainbow brush by following the arc of the Rainbow Strobe highlighter. Like it's gonna match up shade for shade, so you're gonna do that. And then apply it to the tops of cheekbones, pink on top, purple on the bottom, near the hollow of the cheek. Yesterday when I was playing with this, I used the spray last, so we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna do some mists here. Mists out great. It feels like a really fine mist, but look what's happening. Do you see what's in my hair? And on my face, like initially, right after this goes on, before it's really had a chance to dry, you think, okay, just kind of a typical setting spray, right? With the exception of the very visible droplets in my hair. But as it dries, and I don't know if the camera will reflect this at all, you can see like these little flecks, like little dots of blue toned shimmer all over your face. And I have proof of this on my chair. I sit in a black chair here, and you can see still from yesterday all these little like bluish droplets. What does it smell like? I'm gonna have to spray one more time to reflect on that scent. It's almost a little grapefruity in there, maybe? Actually, it smells like sweet tarts. That's what I'm getting. Personally, for me, I don't really like the idea of a setting spray depositing actual sparkle on my skin. As it dries, I can just see like a fine glitter sort of all over. What I'm gonna do as the instructions say, and I'm gonna take this brush, which I used yesterday. I found it to be a very dense brush for any sort of highlighting. I mean, I know this is a different kind of compact, a different method here, but you're gonna sweep it across the rainbow, and then you're gonna use the pinky part toward the top. Okay. Can you guys see what this is doing here? Like, yes, as I move my head a little bit, you can see that there's highlighter on there, but it really just looks like flaky, dusty highlight just sitting on top of the skin. Like, it's just hanging out there, waiting to be maybe buffed in a little bit. Like, I'm dying to buff that in, but I'm gonna do the other side too, and then we'll work with things. You'd never really know that was a rainbow necessarily, although maybe it's intended to be applied a lot heavier. What I'm gonna do is take my normal highlighting brush, and I'm gonna try to sort of buff this in. It's really funny. I can see like this little cloud in my peripheral vision of the powderiness kind of kicking up practically off my face as I try to blend this in. I'm not a fan, guys. This is a cute brush. It's a very like novelty sort of thing, but I would never really apply highlight with a brush this big and dense. So it's definitely a miss for me on these products, and I'm also not into this spray. But the highlighting options are not finished yet here for this Too Faced collection. We have a Unicorn Tears and a Unicorn Dreams stick highlighter. The packaging is adorable. You see on each cap, they're metallic in color overall, and then there's a glittery unicorn on there. And it says Unicorn Tears or Unicorn Dreams. The stick itself, I absolutely love what they've done there to make it look practically like a unicorn horn. So as you look at the swatches here, the Unicorn Dreams comes off with a very golden vibe, and then Unicorn Tears, if you're familiar with that initial lipstick they put out years ago called Unicorn Tears, it has this sort of bluish iridescent quality to it. I'm gonna try the Unicorn Tears highlight first. I'm just gonna swipe a little bit of this on. The stick feels a little bit dry. It smells like vanilla, but don't take too much time getting distracted by the scent, because it just seems to set practically on contact, and it's a little stiff to blend, I feel like. Like, the color is actually pretty. The level of shimmer, just like the look of it on the skin, I don't dislike, but just kind of be ready for it to be a little bit stiff. And I really don't like to have to work to blend a cream product out on the skin. I hate the thought that I'm messing up what's underneath, you know? I feel like I've blended it out to the best of my ability. Maybe if I take like a beauty blender sponge over it a little bit, it just really wants to lock in there. I'm gonna try a little bit of the Unicorn Dreams, maybe a little on the apple, just to double check and see if the formula is the same, because I haven't tried this one on until now. This one I was playing with yesterday. So I'm gonna dab a little bit of this goldeny color right here, apple of the cheek. No, I think it's the same texture actually. I just applied a little bit more of that one, and it was able to move a bit more for a second, but it's definitely also setting in there. I don't think these products could be cuter, but realistically, it's not the easiest highlighter to use. There are better cream and liquid highlights out there for sure. Despite using a setting spray, the setting spray midway through, I feel like a very odd thing is happening on the texture of my skin. Like, even though I've got a lot of shimmer and glow, and maybe from a distance that's what you're able to pick up on, when I look at myself really closely, I feel like I look rather dry and kind of powdery. And I used an amazing foundation that I love that doesn't even tend to look that way on me, and it's the NARS Radiant Longwear. So I think I'm gonna pull in a different setting spray that always tends to make me look a bit more hydrated and dewy, and it's the Mario Badescu with aloe, cucumber, and green tea. I I was really surprised that the Festival Refresh spray didn't have more of that tendency to it. You know, even though it contained the glitter, I was surprised it overall, like in terms of the texture of my skin, didn't make me look more dewy. But you know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna try this palette. It's kind of like puffy a little bit feeling. It looks like a rainbow, and it's the Life's a Festival Peace, Love, and Unicorns palette. It does have a little mirror there. So a lot of warmth and coolness in this palette. Just at a glance, shades that appear to be matte would be Young and Free right here, this pink, and also Desert Vibes. And that's kind of where that story ends. Everything else has some element of shimmer. And I did a look with this yesterday, and I must say I absolutely loved it. That being said, I don't know that this particular palette, it was like it kind of exposed me to maybe pairing some different colors together, but I don't know that it necessarily takes this palette and this palette alone to pull it off. But I'm going to begin where I think everybody and their brother's going to begin with this palette and use Desert Vibes first. This is your matte kind of warm brown, soft warm brown, and I did prime my lids, by the way. But I'm going to get that going here in my crease. It's a really nice crease color. No complaints about pigmentation. By the way, the PR materials came with this little booklet, and that's Ray Lynn there on the unicorn. She's a country singer. I do really like some of her songs, by the way. I like her voice. Then I think I'm going to work in some Rainbow Life. This is like a kind of a unique looking shade here. It's sort of a mix of rust and pink. And it does have shimmer, but something I did notice yesterday was like different shimmery shades that I would work into my crease. They still totally worked. You know, you don't have to go for something completely matte if you think, oh, I need to have something in my crease, it has to be a matte. That's not always the case. Then I'm going to take Beamin' right here, and this one has kind of like a golden sheen to it. I mean, it looks just sort of creamy here in the palette, or even white, but once you apply that to the skin, see how much golden shimmer it has. Really shimmery. But yeah, we're going there. This is a rainbow palette. Then on the lid, I'm going to grab some Young and Free, this pink, kind of a matte pink. I'm going to put this right on this part of the lid. See how pigmented and nicely that transfers on? I'm leaving a little space around my tear duct because what I want to put there is Mystic Rain. This color, while it looks kind of purpley, it's actually like, it shows up almost like a bluish shimmer. I feel like this palette is going to be straight up some people's alley if you like a lot of color and shimmer. I feel like the quality of the colors are actually pretty darn easy to work with and nice. It may not be the one and done palette for everyone, though. Even if you do enjoy these shades, you wouldn't necessarily come away thinking like I have absolutely everything I need, because like you've got all this brightness and all of this shimmer, and yet you don't have like a black or a dark brown, or maybe even like a dark plum, or just some really deep dark matte shadow that can anchor the look. I'm going to use Fantasy over here. Love that word. Purple, it's got a little bit of shimmer in it, and I'm going to start dabbing this sort of on the outer corner, overlapping some of the pink. This purple is great though. I love it. Yesterday I did a look with like this purple all over the lid. I thought it was awesome. Today, you know, just kind of setting it up with a warm crease, but still working in some purple on the lid. Flipping my brush a little bit just to get some of that even further into the crease. And I might even take a hint more of that Desert Vibes and sort of work that around as more of a transition shade, just kind of reinforcing that. Like, look at this kind of sunset-y, really pretty look. Oh, but you see what I mean, guys? Like, whereas this palette might inspire me to do some different things in terms of shade pairings, I don't necessarily have to have this palette to pull it off. Like, you could find a lot of colors sort of like this. I mean, while there are some very unique pops, like Mystic Rain, that's a very different kind of shade. Like, it's got this bluish sheen, yet it sometimes looks pinky purple. There are clearly some unique things happening here, but if you didn't want to take the plunge and buy a whole, like, new high-end palette, depending on what's in your collection, you could pull off this sort of a look. But I actually love the fade of that warm brown into the gold, that goldeny Beamin' shade that we got here up on the lid. Like, that looks so pretty, and that's not a look I often have. I'm gonna go very bright in my lower inner rim. I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlight. And then we're gonna get to work on the lower lash line with some more color. I have not played with the Fireflies shade yet, so I think I'm gonna dig in here. This really pretty kind of spring green. So this is a nice look, you know, to take to the office. You know, a little job interview glam, a little meeting your future mother-in-law glam. Well, honestly, it depends on the job and it depends on the mother-in-law, doesn't it? It really looks like a beautiful kind of pistachio green that I've got going on here. It's not an unwearable green shade, and like worn alone, you could do a fairly like, say, warmish neutral look here and then just choose your pop. Like, you wouldn't need to be combining all this, but I just really wanted to see what that shade was made of. I wanted to see if it would pop without like having a certain kind of liner or base shadow underneath. And there's this massive shade in the palette, which I probably should have shown. It's called Unicorn Tears. It's like the official, I guess, Unicorn Tears shadow. It's very pigmented. It's a really beautiful, like, it has this softest lilac sheen to it. And you know what I'm kind of tempted to do? I want to work this in as a highlight on my cheek and just see if it works in that way. Since I didn't really, yeah. I was about to say I didn't really find a highlight I was in love with from this line yet. But there's no reason why you can't do that. It's kind of like Becca's Prismatic Amethyst, but a little more like glittery, a little more obvious. I think that's the best highlighter this whole collection has going, is the one that's kind of being dubbed as an eyeshadow. I'm gonna go ahead and just do some mascara real quick, and then I'll come back and we're gonna play with some lip products. Okay guys, so there's the completed eye look. I really just wanted to keep it kind of focused on the eyeshadow, so all I did again was curled my lashes and applied some mascara, and I did do that light liner in the lower inner rim. And now we're gonna move on and talk about some of these lip products. So check this out. This is a whole selection of kind of what I would call accent lip colors. I don't know that there are any of these that I would pick to wear necessarily full on all over my lips, but what you have here are, I think, a couple of different finishes to work with in these different shade families. So I've got all the things that are in lipstick form. They look like they're La Creme lipsticks like this. Everything in a lipstick form is swatched below, and then everything that comes in a gloss type look is swatched above. So right here we have Angel Tears. There's the lipstick and the lip gloss. This is Fairy Tears lipstick and gloss. Then we have Unicorn Tears with that bluish tone, and then Mermaid Tears here with the lipstick and the gloss. Angel Tears has a really soft, like kind of rose gold feel to it, and the gloss is very pearly. Fairy Tears, while the lipstick version is very pink, the gloss is a little more golden, really, than anything that's happening over here with the Angel Tears. The Unicorn Tears, the bluish tone is coming through there, and then the Mermaid Tears, that lipstick shade kind of gets deep. It's a little bit bluish. There's a little bit of rose in that shade, and then the gloss is super green looking. I feel like the swatches on my hand like really give you a sense of what these would look like on the lips just as is. The thing that I think I can best offer you here is what these might look like paired in with another product, like how I realistically might actually wear these. So I'm gonna take a little EOS lip balm here, prep my lips, and I'm going to put on a very neutral lip liner. This is Matte It from the L'Oreal Color Riche matte line. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in with that. And I was playing with this a little bit yesterday, and I thought this would just be the funnest way to show off some of these shades, because I really did like how a couple of them looked with this method. So what I've done here with the lip liner is I filled in the whole top lip and then most of the bottom lip, but I left this whole gap here in the center. Then my favorite one of all this would be the Angel Tears. And the thing about the lipsticks, like, they're a little more metallic looking. They're not as shiny at all. So if you're wanting a real shine finish on the lips, you want to look more toward the glosses, or the transforming lip toppers as they're technically called. But the lipsticks, while they have a lot of shimmer and sort of a metallic nature to them, they just don't have a lot of shine. But you do have a lot of control with them. So if you want that metallic look in just a very pinpointed part of your lips, whereas gloss can travel a little bit more like bottom lip to top lip, these lipstick versions kind of keep it a little more centered or targeted. So like, see what that Angel Tears looks like? You know, just kind of patted into an already matte lip. And then take your Angel Tears, which is your most just sort of pearlescent looking gloss out of this lineup. Take some of that over top. Like, I love this shade as a lip topper idea here. I concentrated in there, and everywhere else I just kind of gently blend it out with my finger. Blend it a little bit into your upper lip. I think that's gorgeous. I think I would find so many uses for these too, because this can look very pronounced, you know, and shimmery, but I like having that option of an accent shade in a lipstick form. And then I also really appreciate the look of this gloss. It gives such a bold effect, right? I'm gonna do a similar thing here. I'm gonna use Touch of Spice matte lipstick from Maybelline. This has a little more warmth than that lip liner I just put on. This lipstick of mine is so loved and worn down, but I'm gonna play now with the Fairy Tears. So that's our next one in the lineup. We're gonna take a little bit of this lipstick, which comes off surprisingly pink. Look how buttery it looks in the stick. But look at that pink tone, okay? Just gonna dab that here. It seems like if your lip color has any amount of pink, you put this on top and it almost looks hot pink or something once you add this to the top. And then let's try a little bit of that gloss, which again looks very golden, the Fairy Tears gloss. Hard to keep them all straight. Angels, fairies, mermaids. Well, I'll be. That is a, that's actually a really gorgeous look as well. It's fun to take these sort of neutral, basic lip colors and really change them up with these shades. I'm still thinking I would probably get the most use out of the Angel Tears, but that Fairy Tears, it's a very pink transforming color. Next, I'm gonna do Lust for Blush. This is another Maybelline matte shade. So I forgot to leave myself a little gap there in the center. And then I think it would be fun to layer in the Unicorn Tears, which looks a little bit like bluish purpley, and try some of this in with this lipstick. And this again was the thing that was around before all of this collection. Like this came out kind of alongside some of their La Creme lipsticks, I believe. Instant kind of bluish tone. Like the blue really shows in it for sure. Kind of dab it in. Realistically, I'm probably not gonna be mixing in a lot of blue tone shimmer into my lip looks, but let's see what the gloss does. Ooh, the gloss adds a little more look of purple. While it looks so much more in person anyway, blue than the Unicorn Tears lipstick, it's actually bringing much more of a violet thing to this look. Maybe it's because I'm overlapping with pink. I know there are like a zillion different color combos you could do with this type of thing. I'm just trying to give some ideas and give you guys a sense of how these would work, not just put on full on all over the lips, because this look, let's face it, I'm not gonna wear them that way. And then finally, what to do with the Mermaid Tears. I wanted to see what those kinds of colors would look like sort of paired in with a darker lipstick. So I've got this Rimmel Kate Moss number 30 here. It's a real plummy berry color. I feel like with the depth of this lipstick, it's just not gonna play that well with a lighter shade, so it's gotta have a certain amount of darkness. I did not apply that very well. Okay, let's try lipstick first. This looks really interesting. Tons of purple in that. Yeah, and I guess I probably should have expected that. That's the way it looked on my hand. Blend it out a little bit. I don't hate it. And then the gloss, I'm fearing. I'm scared. This looks really green. Oh my gosh. Wow, it's making that lip look very blue. And when you look really close at it, I guess you can see there's some blue toned like shimmer. There's some blue iridescence in that green. While it looks like straight up seafoam green there, it's pulling a lot of blue on the lips. Gosh, this was fun, guys. You want to just sit here all day with me and layer these up on top of different lipsticks? For me, I think one that still gives a very profound look but is the most versatile and most wearable would be the Angel Tears, both the lip topper and the lipstick. And I kind of want to see what those look like with Touch of Spice, which as I said is a little warmer than the lip liner I originally put on with them. I love what that lipstick does. It's so interesting to have a lipstick like this. And I am kind of wiping it back off to clean it off so it's not too compromised there. To have a lipstick that can act as the accent instead of just being a gloss, because so many glosses will do this. But I'm gonna add a little extra. Look what the gloss takes it over the top though. I'm taking my hair out of my clip now to make this all official. But absolutely 100% my favorite part of this is Angel Tears. The lipstick, the lip gloss, I think I will find 1,000 different ways to wear these, you know, one or the other. It's not that you have to, like, anytime you put the lipstick on, you have to top it with the gloss, but like the lipstick gives a totally different feel. It will alter so many lipsticks and give a fun effect, and then I think the gloss is just next level pearly, beautiful, bright. The others I think have some beauty in their own way. My next favorite might might be the Fairy Tears. The others, I don't really see myself reaching for that much. The biggest like blatant misses for me in this line would be the brush and the rainbow highlighter. That's just not my jam. The bronzer also I would totally skip, and the Festival Refresh spray. Again, it gave me like this sort of bluish toned sparkle all over my skin, but it didn't give me the dewiness, like the change in texture to my skin that I often look for in a setting spray, and it did leave little like blue droplets all over my black chair. These stick highlighters, I wanted to love these for just how cute they are, but honestly they're not a super easy thing to blend across the skin. And the palette, I thought surprised me, and I like it a lot better than I thought. Like, I think I can do some beautiful looks with this. I love the amount of warmth that they included here. Then some other fun things to pair in. I think if you don't want to fully commit to this palette, you might just draw some inspiration from like some of the shade pairings you could come out with and try to create your own with other things that you have on hand. And bonus here, the best highlight that's kind of like a eyeshadow here in this palette, this Unicorn Tears, that applied better as a highlight on my skin than any of the other actual highlighters. So guys, that's my take on this whole new Too Faced collection. So much to talk about, but I hope this maybe made sense of some things. Let me know what you're interested in or not interested in the comments section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.